Hello everyone. I welcome you back to shortsciti. Today, I'm excited to dive into one of the most epic and visually stunning films of all time, 300. Based on Frank Miller's graphic novel, this film transports us back to ancient Greece, where King Leonidas and his 300 Spartans face off against the vast Persian army. Prepare for non-stop action, breathtaking visuals, and a story of valor and sacrifice like no other. If you're as interested in history and epic battles as I am, click the subscribe button below to join me on this cinematic journey through time. Let us explore the world of 300 together. Spartan customs are harsh. The Spartans inspect each newborn to ensure that it is healthy. If it is deformed, the baby is abandoned to die. They raise their boys in the agoge, or school of hard knocks. In combat training, a small boy's loss of his weapon results in a bloody lip from his own father. Each young boy is separated from his mother at the age of 7 and must forge his own path through the wilderness in order to mature into a man. Even the king goes through this rite of passage. At the age of 15, young king-to-be Leonidas, Tyler Neitzel, lures a wolf into a narrow passage and kills it. He returns home and is crowned king. Years later, messengers visit King Leonidas, Gerard Butler, and request that Sparta submit to King Xerxes, Rodrigo Santoro. King Leonidas is insulted by their attitude and kicks the messengers into a well. Recognizing the threat posed by Xerxes' invasion force, he pays a visit to the ephors, priests, to gain their approval before sending the Spartan army into battle. He proposes repelling the numerically superior enemy by using the terrain of the hot gates of Thermopylae, funneling the Persians into a narrow pass between the rocks and the sea, where their massive numbers count for nothing. The ephors, suspicious of the plan, consult the oracle, Kelly Craig. In her drugged trance, she decrees that Sparta must not go to war lest it disrupt the sacred Carnean festival. Leonidas flees in rage, and the priests accept a bribe of Xerxes' gold from the Spartan traitor, Theron, Dominic West, for their negative response. Leonidas is hesitant to confront the corrupt clergy directly, but his wife, Lena Headey, encourages him to think outside the box. Leonidas chooses to lead 300 of his best soldiers as his bodyguard on a leisurely walk to the strategic hot gates location. His wife says goodbye, telling him to return with his shield or on it, and giving him a necklace. On the road, they come across some allies who are surprised that the Spartans are sending such a small force. Leonidas inquires about the professions of the allied army, which are craftsmen and artisans. He emphasizes that he has brought more soldiers than they. They arrive in Thermopylae, accompanied by Arcadians and other Greeks. They build a wall to block the Persian army's advance. Strong storms destroy some of Xerxes' fleet, but this represents only a small portion of the massive army they will face. A horribly disfigured man, Ephialtes, Andrew Tiernan, approaches Leonidas to warn him of a disused goat path behind his position. Ephialtes claims that his parents fled Sparta during his birth to save his life. He intends to redeem them by fighting for Leonidas. Leonidas explains that each Spartan warrior is an important component of the phalanx and challenges Ephialtes to demonstrate that he can raise his shield high enough to properly defend his fellow warriors. When it becomes clear that he cannot, Leonidas gently instructs him to look after the fallen instead. Ephialtes' fondest hopes are dashed. A Persian emissary arrives and discovers that the corpses of the previous scouting party now form part of the large rock wall. The Persians claim that their arrows will blot out the sun, while the Spartans agree to fight in the shade. The emissary's party is killed. Prior to the battle, the Persians demand that the Spartans give up their arms and surrender. Leonidas refuses and challenges the Persians to take their weapons. The Spartans use their tightly knit phalanx formation to funnel the Persians into the narrow terrain, repeatedly repelling them and inflicting heavy casualties. Xerxes, impressed by Spartan fighting ability, personally approaches Leonidas and persuades him to surrender. He offers Leonidas wealth and power in exchange for his loyalty. Leonidas declines, promising instead to make the god king bleed, and returns to his army. Disappointed by the refusal, Xerxes dispatches his masked personal guard, the Immortals, whose name, the Spartans, also proves false. The battles continue, with the Spartans defeating soldiers and animals from all over the Persian Empire, including Mongolian barbarians and Eastern chemists, as well as African rhinoceroses and Indian war elephants. However, some of the valiant Spartan warriors are killed, and it is clear that more will follow. Ephialtes goes to Xerxes and agrees to show the Persians the goat path in exchange for a uniform, women, and wealth. Xerxes will grant Ephialtes' wish if he kneels before the god king. Back in Sparta, Queen Gorgo has been lobbying the council to send aid to Leonidas. A friendly councilman arranges for her to speak, but warns her that she will need Theron on her side. Theron agrees to help her if she sleeps with him, which she does. At the hot gates, the Spartans discover they have been betrayed and realize their fight is doomed. The Arcadians flee in the face of imminent death. Spartans refuse to follow. Leonidas orders a reluctant Dilios to return to Sparta and inform them of their impending deaths. In Sparta, Queen Gorgo appeals to the council. Rather than supporting her as promised, Theron betrays her by accusing her of adultery. Enraged, Gorgo grabs a sword and stabs Theron, rupturing a gold bag hidden in his robe. As the coins stamped with Persian markings fall to the ground, the council recognizes Theron's treachery and agrees to unite against Persia. At the hot gates, the Persians surround the Spartans, who have formed a dome out of their shields. Leonidas stands in front of the dome. Xerxes' general demands their surrender, declaring that Leonidas may retain his title as king of Sparta while becoming warlord of all Greece, reporting only to Xerxes. Ephialtes advocates this as well, to which Leonidas responds, "May you live forever," an insult from a culture that values death and valor in battle. Leonidas drops his shield and removes his helmet, appearing to submit. Stelios then bursts from the dome, leaping over his king and killing the general. Xerxes is furious and orders his troops to attack. As Persian archers shoot the remaining Spartans, Leonidas rises and throws his spear at Xerxes, ripping open his cheek and making the god king bleed. Xerxes, visibly shaken by this reminder of his own mortality, watches as the remaining Spartans succumb to the combined might of his army. Leonidas marks his final moments by telling his wife aloud how much he loves her. A shower of arrows falls on him, and the screen goes black. Back in Sparta, Dilios presents the necklace to Queen Gorgo and informs her of her husband's death. Dilios concludes his tale in front of an attentive Spartan audience by declaring that the 120,000-strong Persian army that narrowly defeated 300 Spartans now faces 10,000 Spartans commanding 30,000 Greeks. Dilios, praising Leonidas' sacrifice, leads the assembled Greek army in a fierce charge against the Persian army, sparking the Battle of Plataea. Thank you for being a part of this journey.